Hello, hi, and it's a little different today. I'm back to the art. I had a couple of experiments planned, technical experiments, but all in due course. So, as I said, my script has been inspired by and styled in Georgette Heyer's familiar way of writing. So, the Duke of London lives in a mansion for his parents who had left him a fortune, would have no less. The have it no less would have it no less. The Duke, like his father, sat in the House of Lords, passing bills of importance to the British society. He was tall, dark, and handsome, and because he had a rather distant and aloof manner when it came to the opposite sex, he was mistaken to be arrogant. Far be from it, for he was a graduate of Oxford University and had supported the abolition of slavery in Britain. He was a very modest man. He was known to have liberal views and wanted Britain to change its ways of colonialism. Scene 1. The Duke of London, whose name was Edward, was one fine morning overcome by an impulse to inspect his kitchen. The London Times had said that every man must acquaint himself with the interiors of his own kitchen, for it makes him a spicier version of himself. He had finished his breakfast. The Duke's kitchen had mahogany shelves and beautiful glass cabinets with some pots and pans. Of course, the dinner plates, etc., were stored in the dining room. The cook was done for the morning. The Duke stood at the doorway for some time. A really pretty wench, buxom and dressed in a black and white uniform, was cleaning the dishes. She wiped them after and put them all away. She was about to wipe the counters when the Duke, unobserved, came from behind and turned her around and planted a kiss on her lips. Having caught her unawares, he said, "Most delicious. I taste a cherry, not to mention the softness of your heart. You must ask my butler for the key to my bedroom and come tonight. Buy yourself a pretty dress and some lingerie." He kept $100 on the counter and left the kitchen, and Lydia was left fuming. Lydia was not your everyday kitchen maid. She herself had a few years of schooling in the liberal arts and prided herself on her intelligence. But $100 was not to be scoffed at. She worked for minimum wages. She decided to do as bid and teach him a lesson. She touched her lips and felt a feeling of sorrow. She was just another wench for him to toy with. He did not have a reputation for being in the petticoat line. The Duke was busy all day and came back to find his pals, Mr. Cliff and Mr. Rochester, waiting for him. They discussed the political state of Britain for some time. And spoke about the latest plays and theatres in town, running in town. His friends convinced Edward to go to a fundraiser show. They said the dinner was being served. The show was nearby, and they went in the motor car, which was the Duke's latest acquisition. The three of them, talking about the artist of the show, said, "She's relatively unknown, but the newspapers say she's really good." The footman served them drinks. Edward had a night of promised cocktail. Fittingly, of course, the younger ladies who had set their caps at him for some time now exchanged glances, and all of them looking pretty. A couple of them more so than others fluttered their eyelashes at him. While charming to them, he resisted all attempts to be wooed. The show began. The announcer said, "Without further ado, Miss Gayatri, the prima donna." And before I begin, in between song with dance, myself, I'm the author of the script, Gayatri B. Sitaram. Just like to say an aside, thank you to Molly Johnson on Jazz FM 91.1 Toronto for the starting line, or which I changed, of course. She has another line, but I took it. It's exam time for all of you, and here goes. All right, the song with um, dance is set to Peter Miyamoto and is my original song. Oh, sorry. My professor, he don't love me. My professor, he don't have a heart. My professor, he don't reward me. My professor, he don't care. I work hard. I work well and drive myself to excel. But these are cold-hearted men. My husband, with unrewarding sighs, my dearest cherishment, my son. However, I know they underneath it all have hearts of gold and shall play fair. For honest, good work has to involve fairness from evaluators. And my instinct says they will not let me down. They will play fair. The air is alive with the sound of music. My whole mind is full of joy at this thought. I was worried for nothing. This is how the story should end. A story of hard work, intelligence, and talent. She tap, he tap, she tap, he tap, tappity tap, tappity tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, tap. Coming back to my script. So they're all happy, the audience. The Duke excuses himself and gets back home. Bids goodbye to his two male friends and the Lydia ladies. Lydia has taken the key from the butler and is waiting to teach the Duke a lesson. I beg your pardon. She has secretly planned to have a newspaper man of a social column who will come in through the window and shoot a picture of the Duke, caught literally with his pants down. She's wearing her new dress with lingerie made out of gauze. She has some makeup on and looks beautiful. She walks in, turning the key into the bedroom door. Her heart is beating rapidly. The Duke looks at her and says, "You know, this morning I realized that you are the woman I have been looking for all these years. If there has been a lack of schooling on your part, you can be educated. Let me kiss you again and see what your lips taste of this time." He kisses her passionately. She realizes she has not uttered a word to him. He says, "Your lips taste of love for me. What is your name? Say something, please." Lydia, who has fallen madly in love with him, says, "Oh, Duke, if you only knew what a fool I am." The Duke, "I'll marry you. May I undress you? Such a vision of beauty." She said, "My name is Lydia," and the Duke untied her bow at the front and let her dress robe fall to the floor. He gasped at the sight of her in her lingerie. At that moment, the newspaper man shot a picture barging in. Lydia truly felt sorry and explained it all, saying that she had become angry that morning For the Duke thought that all women were to be treated as women of easy virtue, which she was not, definitely not. The Duke became a little angry at this sort of what he thought was effrontery from his kitchen maid, actually, in reality, but said, sexy and spirited, well, makes for interesting days when work is not very engrossing. Lydia, is it? All's well that ends well. Newspaper man, next he publishes, announces their engagement in the column, in the social column of the newspaper, and says that the Duke of London has been caught at last. A lot of women, Lydia, without setting her cap at him, caught him in her cap like a cricket ball. Signing off. Thank you, Gayatri V. Sitaram.